Welcome to the Gals Guide to the Galaxy podcast, where a group of gals gather for you one cool thing around our topic of the month. Is it ancient history? Is it breaking news? Is it safe for work? Well, that's up to each gal. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Set your phasers to stun, because we're talking about Sci-Fi Gals this month. The library is filled with out-of-this-world adventures of different planets, new technology, and space travel. So let me introduce my fellow travelers for this epic journey. First up, it's the library manager of Gals Guide. It's Bonnie Fallenworth, ladies and gentlemen.
Woohoo, Bonnie!
So, Bonnie, tell the good people about yourself and what you've been up to.
I've been up to trying to finish up my Master of Library Information Sciences degree.
Your unicorn degree, yay!
Yes. Just had my last art fair of the season.
Sweet.
The Irvington Halloween Festival.
That's always a good one.
Always super awesome.
Yep.
Lots of puppies.
Good. Puppies in costumes?
Yes, lots of costumes.
My kiddo was there.
Oh, really? Oh.
Do you see that puppy? He was dressed as a wizard. He's 11 and not a dog.
Yes.
So you may not have noticed.
This is true. He was Gandalf and Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was adorable.
He told everybody that asked.
Yes.
While
And
we
I did.
I saw a girl dressed up as Anne Shirley from L.M. Montgomery.
Yes.
Books, the Canadian Pippi Longstocking kind of. And I was Pippi Longstocking, so I was like,
yes, exactly.
This is freaking adorable.
You're like, I get you, kid. I get you. Perfect. Well, next up, she is our book club director, Katie Young. Yay!
Why, thank you, ladies.
Katie,
you know how to make someone feel special.
I know, right? What is new with you this November?
Not a lot new.
Gotcha.
But just getting
What's
into...
old with you, Katie, this November?
My bones.
Right? That sums it up pretty well.
Yeah.
Right? No, we had a nice fall break trip, and we went down to Kentucky and saw some beautiful scenery, saw a little bit of mountains, which is always like a nice reset to life, I think. You just kind of absorb that in. So things have been good. Just getting into the busy part of the holiday season.
Yeah. I call it the trifecta of kill me, because it's like Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, and then it's New Year's, and it's like, I just know.
Right. We're amping things up at work. There's tons of projects, but it's all going to be fun and good. Today at work we had Spirit Week, and it was hats and mustaches.
Hats and mustaches.
And I have to tell you, a pack of stick-on mustaches have never brought a group of children so much joy. We all had a fun day.
Sweet. So. I remember Target once had pink mustaches, and I was very tempted to have them here in the library, just in case.
I think we need them.
You never know when you need a very silly pink mustache.
It really turns the day around.
Doesn't it, though? Well, as for me, I am Dr. Leah Leach, and I'm the executive director of Gals Guide, and I've been having a fantastic time leading our journey writing workshop. We've got like 22 writers in this class. They are all amazing. I really can't wait for you guys to read their stories that they are putting out into the world in various publications. I've been sending them different calls for submissions, much like the Gals Guide anthology. Submissions are open until December 31st. Is that a good plug?
It was a great plug.
Yes.
Thank you.
And so is your writing workshop producing the poems? Because I noticed a new feature on the web, our Facebook.
On our social media channels, we
okay.
are starting patron poetry. So we first asked our writers to share their patron poetry for about Sci-Fi Gals.
Okay.
But it is now open to the public. Next month, it's going to be about Indiana Gals. So please, if you have a quick less than 10-line poem about Indiana Gals, I almost said girls because I'm thinking Tom Petty in my head. Look on our social media and it'll tell you how you can change or send your submission in. So,
and I mean,
even cute?
You get a bonus because you'll have your work out there and the notoriety of that, and be able to help Gals Guide.
Yeah.
But Rue made the most beautiful background
Isn't
for
that
our
gorgeous?
recent poem. So your poem will be given the royal treatment, and you'll have something you could, I think, print out and frame.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Lots of reasons to do it.
Gorgeous. Yes. Thank you. Yes. So, okay. Before we dive into our first sci-fi gal, which will be Bonnie's sci-fi gal, we'll look at the calendar just for a quick second. So for this week of November 7th through the 13th, we have Walking Club. That's right. Walking Club is back. It is November 12th. It's at 9 a.m. And yes, it is getting colder. But if you bring mittens and you get coffee and you have this nice little like conversation, you might not notice that it's cold. Also, it's like 70 degrees today.
I was going to say, is Josh going to be having us walking group when there's like 4 inches of snow?
No.
Okay.
It needs to be walkable and not,
right?
and not slippable or anything like that. So, but also just temperature wise, he'll have like a threshold. If it's below freezing, we probably will not be walking.
Gotcha.
So it'll be a game day decision. But as of right now, November 12th, 9 a.m.
Okay.
Meeting at the Gals Guide Library, walking around Noblesville. Coffee. So I will see you there because I'm trying to get in shape for a trip. So I'll be there.
Okay.
I know, right? So for more information, go to galsguide.org and click on that beautiful calendar. So now the big question is, though, is Bonnie ready to share her one cool sci-fi gal?
I was looking to see if I work on November 12th.
Oh, because you're like walking
Keep having
club.
it on days I work.
On Saturdays?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But it's at 9 a.m.
I work at 9.
Oh, you do work at... Oh, you start the day early. Okay. I'm so used to you starting it like in the afternoon.
No, that's on weekdays.
Oh, barnacles. All right. Well, if you can join us, join us because it's really fun and we get good coffee. I'm overselling this coffee part, aren't I?
It can't be oversold. It is the essence.
I know. It's the essence of Walking Club. Oh, that's sad. But who do you have for us?
Now I just want to make a little graphic of ladies walking with coffee.
Exactly.
Walking club.
Walking and coffee and walking and coffee. Yes.
I have for my lady the fabulous Catherine Kiernan Maria Mulgrew.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. That is lovely. And I know a little bit about this lady. Sweet. So Kate Mulgrew, as her friends know her.
So for sci-fi, she is known as being Captain Janeway. Yay! On Star Trek is her big thing. She was also on, well, not sci-fi, but Ryan's Hope back in the day, and Red as in Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
She was born April 29th, 1955 in Dubuque, Iowa, to an Irish Catholic family. She was the second of 8 siblings.
Wow.
Which also include Tom, Joe, Maggie, Laura, Tess, Sam, and Jenny. Her father was a contractor, and her mother was an artist.
Oh.
Her mother knew the Kennedy family.
Oh.
And went
Irish Catholic?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume all Irish Catholics know the Kennedy. No, I'm just kidding.
Her mom went to a boarding school with one of the Kennedys.
Oh.
When her mother was young, I think her mother, which would be Kate's grandmother, died when Kate's mom was like 3.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think they sent her to a boarding school, and that's where she met one of the Kennedy girls and became friends with them.
That's cool.
But she could have been JFK's.
I know, right?
Like, she worked for his campaign.
Oh, cute.
But Kate remembers the phone ringing at her one-room schoolhouse that she attended, and the teacher sending everyone home because the president had been shot.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then her mom attended JFK's funeral because she knew him.
Yeah.
Her sister Maggie died as a baby when Kate was 4.
Oh.
And she remembers her sister's death at 3 months old. And there's a whole thing. She's got 2 great books.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I know at least one of the audiobooks is narrated by her. I'm assuming the other one is too.
Gotcha. I mean, she's got a great speaking voice. I mean,
there's a weird confusion in there because, I don't know anything about babies. So I don't know if she blames herself for Maggie's death. I'm not sure if she was really the cause of it.
Gotcha.
Or not.
Because blaming yourself and actually being to blame are 2 totally different things. Yeah, especially when you're a little one.
She remembers coming to the realization when she was to watch her baby sister Maggie and realizing she couldn't go play with the other kids. Like she realized she was losing her freedom. So she dumped out the milk in the bottle and gave the baby water.
Oh, gotcha.
And I don't know at what point. I know you can't give like a newborn water.
Right, exactly.
But at 3 months, I don't know if that's like, I don't know when you are able to give them water, but she like grew up thinking she killed her sister.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, because you're told not to, but at the same time,
the baby just died of like SIDS or
right,
something else. I don't know. But
exactly.
she grew up thinking she killed her sister.
Gotcha. That's hard.
And I think, when she told her parents what she did, they were like, every parent is going to be like,
right,
no,
right. Yeah, regardless. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Be like, nope, wasn't you.
And then her sister Tess was diagnosed with a brain tumor when she was in her teens. So Kate remembers having to deal with that.
Yeah.
She started out, she had headaches. And they grew up in a household where, like, you don't go to the doctor for anything.
Right.
Like, she had one of her brothers he got, like, a really bad cut on his leg. Mm-hmm. And his mom told him, I forget, to put something on it. It wasn't
like Vaseline or something like that?
It was something. It wasn't Neosporin, but she was like, yeah, put something on it and just, like, go to bed. And when we woke up, and his leg was, like, just purple.
Oh.
And they were like, okay. So he went to the hospital.
Right.
But so they were like, you toughen it up. And then her mom kept telling her, quit crossing your eyes. They're going to stay like that. Oh. And it was a side effect because she had a brain tumor and it was causing her to have these headaches and her eyes were just like moving around to where they weren't supposed to be.
Gotcha.
When she was 14, her father drove her 3 hours to do an audition in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. And she didn't get the part because she was too young. Oh. Kate took the option to graduate early from high school in hopes of going to acting school early.
Not same.
She moved to New York for school. The agreement was that she would go to, I forget what it was, basically a regular college.
Okay.
And then she would also be going to this, like, acting school on the side.
Gotcha. Like the New School or Juilliard or something.
Like, one semester where she's like, no, I'm just doing the acting school.
That's the girl.
Yep. Her first big production was playing Mary Ryan.
Okay.
On the soap opera Ryan's Hope.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
That
there
was
you
her
go.
First
Makes
big
her.
One. She,
makes
like,
sense.
ran into somebody, like, in the elevator.
Yeah.
And they knew they wanted to make the show with the Irish Catholic family.
She's like, guess what I am?
Yeah. So at the time, she was filming the television show during the day and working on stage at night. While in New York, she received a phone call from her father saying that Tess had died.
Oh, no.
And her sister, what's the one that starts with a J? Jenny was, like, visiting with her at the time, like, for the summer. So Jenny was with her, and her father's just said, like, don't come home. He's like, we're burying her tomorrow.
Gotcha.
And there was something with that. I was rereading the first book. There was something where he explains his reasoning for it, I think in her second book, the one about her
parents with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, her mom with Alzheimer's and her dad had cancer.
Gotcha.
And the book's like about her memories, I think, with both of her parents. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just about dealing with their deaths. It's kind of like all of the little memories.
Thinking about their lives. Yeah, exactly. And the togetherness. Yeah.
She found out in 1976 that she was pregnant.
Gotcha.
The little story with that's like funny. She went out for like a weekend at like a lake and they got there on like Friday and she went to bed and she got woken up Sunday morning and the dude's like, he was like, you've been sleeping for 32 hours. What are you, pregnant?
Oh no.
So
she's like, maybe I should take a test or something.
Like, and then she, after talking to her doctor and her mother and the baby's father, she decided to have the baby but give it up for adoption.
Gotcha.
And she was real torn up about it because she's like, she knew she was worried about losing her job because she's acting,
right?
But she's also worried about like she's not married to the dude's father and
didn't want to be.
In-laws did not like her,
right?
So like that was going to be like a whole rough thing,
right?
But she was pleading with her mother. She's like, well, maybe if I send the baby to you and give you money like you can raise the kid till they're like 2 and then I'll come and get the kid, like
Right. A Jack
and
Nicholson situation?
her mom's like, no, like I'm done raising kids.
Right.
Like you're just
That's
gonna
fair.
have to put
She
it up
had
for adoption.
7 or 8 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially
Fair.
with dealing like her mother did not have any more babies after Tess.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah,
After
yeah.
the death of her
daughter,
teenage
yeah.
daughter, yeah.
Absolutely.
She actually in the one, I don't think it was no, after her last baby she came home with a jar because her mom was so funny. Like she's like a super free spirit artist lady, like she
Right.
sounds amazing, but she came home with a jar with some tape that she stole from the hospital
Yeah.
to put on the jar. And she wrote from whence you came on the jar, and it was her uterus was in the jar.
Oh, my God. So the go back
So they
from
put
whence
that,
you
it was,
came.
like on the fireplace.
A uterus in a jar.
Wow.
She wasn't playing.
Oh my goodness.
Sweet.
But yeah, she found she was pregnant. She decided to give the baby up for adoption. And she went to Claire Labine at Ryan's Hope, who's like the writer. She told her about a pregnancy, and she offered to write the pregnancy into the show,
Oh, there you go.
like
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. Especially because it was kind of soap opera-y.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, we can play that who's the baby's daddy
Yeah.
storyline for a good long time then.
After giving birth, she went to the maternity ward to see her baby. The nurse there at first said she couldn't help her, but then she was like, "Hey, go down the hallway."
Second baby on the right.
So she like lifted up the blinds to like the window and told her to look for her name, and she could just see, you know, a baby Mulgrew, and then there was a pink cap for a girl. And she just was only able to like look at her for a little bit before she shut the blinds, and she was like, "You need to get out of here before we get in trouble."
Right, but there's that, yeah.
Because she had made arrangements with a like very Catholic like organization for the adoption, and they were very much like, "You're going to sign this contract. There's no going back. You know, no contact, like no information."
Yeah.
They did tell her that she would be able to pick what family it goes to.
Okay.
But she found out later that's not where the baby went.
Oh, no.
Huh.
Sneaky.
Mhm.
Mysteries afoot.
But then when she went back to work after having the baby, like the first thing she did was there was a monologue for her character about her devotion to the new baby.
Oh.
And she did it in like one take.
Yeah.
And normally she was just like after do it, she was like, "Is that good? Okay, I'm leaving." Like she was like,
yeah, that had to be hard.
after Ryan's Hope, she starred as Mrs. Columbo in a short-lived spin-off series
Oh.
where she was like, it sounded kind of like a Murder, She Wrote or something. She was like, Miss Detective Lady.
Right. Based on the Columbo, what is it, Peter Falk?
Yeah, she was supposed to be
Okay.
Columbo's wife,
Okay.
but they weren't like on scene together, like
right.
ever. I think sometimes there were like phone calls or something.
They had an
Sweet.
understanding.
I don't know. She almost married a very controlling Italian man who she met while vacationing there. She was
Oh.
engaged to him, and he got like more and more, like he was already like crazy eccentric Italian dude.
Sure, right.
Like, but he was starting to get like very controlling.
Ah.
And eventually she left and she went home, and like when her mom met him, her mom was like, "You need to understand, my daughter's an American woman.
Oh,
and she needs to work. Like
See?
we work here."
You can't control the woman like Little Italy back there. Yeah. Yes.
But she did eventually marry Robert Egan, who was a theater arts director. They had 2 sons, and she hired a young woman named Lucy to help with the boys around the house and also became part of the family. Like they would
Aw.
celebrate her birthday and stuff, which is great. And then after the boys grew up, Lucy also helped with Kate's aging parents back in Iowa.
Okay, gotcha.
So Lucy's been like with her for a long time.
Yeah.
Kate and Robert is his name Robert? Yeah, Robert Egan got divorced when the boys were around 10.
Gotcha.
And then she took the boys on a trip to Ireland shortly after, where she met Tim Hagen, who was a friend of her mother.
Oh.
And they had a little brief romance. And then
Little Irish fling, if you will. Oh, see what I did there?
And in 1994, she got a call to audition for the role of a captain in Star Trek.
Do it. Do that audition.
She actually botched her first audition.
Oh, no.
And Canadian actress Guinevere Bujold
Sure.
was selected for the part, but quit a few days into filming.
Oh.
So then Kate got a second chance. She auditioned again.
Sweet.
And then later, Tim Hagen popped up again.
Oh.
After receiving a phone call from Kate's mother.
What is that sneaky mommy doing?
Her mom's weird. Like,
Little
I can't
matchmaking?
imagine, like, I don't know. I don't know what the age difference is, but if it's your mother's friend,
Yeah.
like...
Right. Now, does
Like
she
the
like her
whole thing.
friends young? Or is her friends
I
the
don't
same
know. I think
age as
her
her?
mom sounded like she was friends with everybody.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
But her
sure.
mom was so funny. Like, when she was going to Ireland, like, when she told her mom she was going over there, oh, you should look up my friend Tim.
Yeah, sure.
And she's like, I just got to, like, Mom, what are you doing? I just got divorced.
Right,
Like,
right.
what are you... She's like, oh, no, you would never, like, just as a friend, you two would never be, like, I feel like it was some weird reverse psychology thing going on there.
Right.
But years later, she ran into a nun that facilitated her adoption at a charity event.
Oh.
And what, like, she had been, like, before this, she had, like, hired a private investigator. She had called up some top clergy dude. And she's like, I want information about my daughter. Like, you didn't do with her what you said. Like, she didn't go to this family that you said she was going to. Like,
Yeah.
I know that much. Like, what happened? And this was a while after, like, this is after her daughter would have been an adult.
Yeah.
The nun made the arrangements to give them a phone call.
Oh.
And her daughter was 20, and they filled out the paperwork, they had a phone call, and they met the next weekend.
Oh, wow.
So she got to reconnect with her daughter that she lost. That was like, it was bugging her, like, her whole life.
Yeah, I could see that. That's very cool.
She wrote Born with Teeth, which is her first book, in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And then her second book, which is How to Forget, deals with her aging parents, so the battle with cancer and Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm. And the Born with Teeth, she was actually born with
She
her
was
back
born with a
teeth or something?
full
like that?
set of teeth.
Full set of teeth. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
She's also, she's a feisty
Yeah.
lady. So, I
Yeah.
mean, like, the dualism of the name is perfect.
Yeah.
But she was literally born with...
But I was just like, oh, that poor mom.
I
Like,
know.
can't,
Yeah, no, that's some
Nope.
painful shit.
Yeah. Both of her books are really great, and I highly recommend them. But both of them do talk about some sexual assault.
Yeah.
And both of them, that one in the second book, you were there like the day after I read it. And
Yes.
I'm so mad.
Yep.
All day. It's something where when she's like 16, there's a dude that's friends with her dad, asks her dad if it's okay if he dates his daughter, and this
Right.
dude's like 32
And she's 16.
and she's
my
16
gosh.
and he's
And the
like
dad's like,
Yeah.
he's like a psychiatrist or something too.
oh, yeah, that makes
Or
him totally
therapist.
stable.
It's something. He's got some kind of doctorate and whatever.
Sure, he
But
doesn't
he
mean he's
came
not
around,
a skis.
And he like took her on dates for like a year, and like on her birthday, like sexually assaulted. Like, it was like,
Right. Yeah.
like the whole thing is just like
Just not
creepy
cool.
and just.
Mm-hmm.
But like her parents gave the okay.
Right, yeah.
Like that's a whole other like I know it's the Midwest and I know it was like
They knew the
70s,
dude, so it's got to be fine.
but
it's still not okay. Yeah.
when she came home late that night, she got in trouble.
Of course.
Dude did not get in trouble.
You're like, I was with an adult, literally.
It's just
Gosh.
so mad.
Yeah. It was unpleasant.
But she has there is a statue in Bloomington.
No.
Yes.
Where have I heard about that
I
before?
know. We went to go see it.
We did.
We didn't actually. Now, did you actually see the statue? Because I never actually went to see the statue, but we went and saw Kate herself.
Yes.
So I feel like we got a really cool part of the deal.
Yeah, Kate recently spoke at the statue because I think they put it up during COVID.
They did.
Or right before COVID.
It was during COVID. Yeah.
So they didn't get to do the whole dedication ceremony and stuff. So they did that recently. Where she gave a little speech at the statue, and then there was some
very
little
cute.
event.
It's on if you go to the Janeway Collective, definitely if you search on Facebook, because they did a Facebook Live. And so they did a streaming of Kate actually with the statue seeing it for the first time. And it's really lovely.
They posted the recording of the other thing.
Not the Q&A sit down that we went to. There's photos from it, of course. They recorded it, but they haven't released that, to my knowledge, anyway.
I saw a big old fancy camera. So
there was a couple of big old fancy cameras. I was like, they're doing a 2-camera shoot on this. That's quite nice. Yeah.
And I was the person, I was the closest that you could be to her.
You were so close.
I was 8 feet away from her.
Did you get the eye contact? Because I got
probably.
at one point, I'm like, we locked eyes, and I'm like, she saw me. It was cool.
But it's also in the front row. One of the speakers kept thinking, well, raise your hand if you have this. And I was like, I'm in the front row. And I feel like I still had my hand up.
Anybody?
Well, I feel like everyone else had already put their hand down, but I still had my hand up and was doing the put your finger down. I looked around, I was like, no one else still has their hand.
You were counting the different ways to fight dementia.
Yeah.
I was very proud of you. I did give up after one because I think it was like healthy eating, and I'm like, I'm done.
It was like, do you get 8 hours of sleep?
Oh yeah, that's what it was, and I was like, no, I'm gonna fail the rest of this.
But yeah, writer and executive producer Jerry Taylor chose Bloomington, Indiana as the birthplace for her captain character because she had attended Indiana University Bloomington.
Yes, there you go.
And many women leaders in especially STEM cite Captain Janeway as a big influence in their lives of, getting into science.
And there was a fantastic speaker that was at the event that absolutely said that because they saw Janeway on television, they wanted to be in STEM, and it's fantastic.
It was very much reminding me of when Uhura was traveling around trying to get people to join NASA.
Yeah. Inspiring people. Get in the space program.
Kate said that she's working on a novel.
Yes.
She said what was it? She said she had the title.
I think it's called The Irish Castle. Is that what she said?
I'm sure it's set in Ireland.
Right, exactly.
She loves Ireland so much.
I even asked Barbara, I'm like, did she say The Irish Castle? Because
if she didn't, you need to email her and say
you came
up with a good name for her book.
Yeah, this is very
that's
true.
Pretty good.
And you can come here for a book signing, just saying.
Exactly.
I'm sure she has more than a title. Because when I wrote this, it's a 2020 article said she was working on a novel.
Right.
So that was 2 years ago.
Yes.
I'm sure, and she's was writing her whole life when she was in Italy with the crazy dude. That's what she did all day, is that she wrote.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised
getting it out into the world.
Stuff out there with her.
There's probably stuff in drawers. There's probably stuff in journals.
Sure.
Not all of it reaches the light of day, but it could and it should.
But both her mother and father were reading all the time.
Nice.
Her mother pushed her into doing poetry contests when she was little.
You mean patron poetry? Sorry. Fantastic.
But yeah.
Yay! Captain Janeway, Kate Mulgrew. Yep. I love it.
And now she's on that. She's on at least one more Star Trek now.
The animated one.
Yeah, she's the Janeway hologram.
Yes,
that's showing the little cadets the ropes, which sounds hilarious.
For the people that aren't so sci-fi oriented, when we were talking about Kate Mulgrew earlier, before you guys went to introduce her.
Yeah, we did do the Gals Guide introduction.
Yeah.
Yes. Gals Guide officially welcomed Kate Mulgrew. Yes, it was lovely.
But you both told me, and how I recognized her was that she was in Orange is the New Black.
Yes. As Red.
Red.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody listening out there that isn't as science fiction-y as perhaps Leah or Bonnie, you're more on my wavelength.
There you go.
She's also in... There was some interview where she talked about she's in some kind of series where she got to be a murderer, and she was very excited to act as to be a murderer.
It was a Murder, She Wrote episode.
Apparently, she was in like several episodes of those, but I think this was a movie.
Was it?
After that? I think it was after... It's definitely after Star Trek.
Right, yeah.
And it might have been after Orange is the New Black.
Okay, gotcha. Because I thought it was Angela Lansbury who shouted across the room, "You make a very good murderer." And it's like, that's what you want to hear. But then when Angela Lansbury says that, you're like, oh, okay, it's probably for Murder, She Wrote. Where if I say it, no, I'm just kidding. Then it's like, hold on, what's the criminal indictment?
But yeah, for those who aren't into the sci-fi, Captain Janeway is on this thing at Star Trek where their whole thing is in like the first episode, they get flung to the other side of the galaxy, and even if they went top speed at their light speed warp drive or whatever, it would take them like 70 years to get home. Yeah. So they're trying to get home, but then also because Kate's character is a scientist, like she was like the science route before becoming a captain. She's like, oh, but what's that thing over there?
Right. Can we take a little pit stop?
She's like, oh, but there's a thing. Because it's part of the Federation. You're supposed to, be sciencey and explore strange new worlds.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, my dad's favorite joke was like, well, they got lost because there's a female captain.
Bite your tongue, sir.
I wanted to be like...
That joke only lasts one episode.
If I was old enough, I would have been like, well, a male captain wouldn't have stopped and asked for directions.
Right, exactly. Both would have been lost. Only one of them would have admitted it. Well, that wraps up this episode. Stay tuned to join us for another cool woman of history as the Gals Guide podcast continues. Thanks for listening. For show notes, links, and images from this week's show, visit galsguide.org. Want exclusive stuff like deleted bits and major bloopers? Become a Gals Guide patron today. Thanks for listening.